Hi guys, this is Coach Powell. So good to be here today. There's such a lot of things that's been going on in my life. Has been going on with the country, and I am so glad to be here, share some opportunities with you, share some thoughts with you about today's topic. Today's topic, and for all of you all who are logging in and are trying to figure out what this show is all about, today's topic is going to be about vision. We're on a series right now. We're talking about everything that we should be talking about when it comes to helping entrepreneurs, business leaders learn how to develop the kinds of relationships that they need to develop in order to progress their business, in order to progress their lives, in order to move whatever they're trying to move forward in life. And we find that one of the biggest reasons that people don't move forward is because they don't have the resilience. They don't have the stick to itness. They don't have the commitment. They don't have the drive, and they don't have the energy. And more importantly, they don't have the coalition that they need in order to strengthen themselves, in order to get through and around any obstacles that might come in front of them. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the information. And again, all of those things happen through people. So therefore, they happen through relationships. The higher, the stronger, the more qualified your relationships are, whether those relationships are personal or corporate or involved with your community or your government systems or whatever your relationships are tied to, the key to your success has everything to do with your ability to impact, affect, and cause some type of influence with others. And that means the quality of your relationships is right there as a precipice, and it hinges, all success hinges on the quality of relationship. There's things that you could do without having relationships. You could be tremendously successful without relationships. The key is remaining successful long term, being able to sustain any level of success is going to require. It's best if you get those relationships before you need them. I was just in a podcast this morning, and we were talking about venture capital. And one of the key leaders in the venture capital world expressed this idea, this concept that I, of course, you and I have heard this over the years, but it kind of felt fresh on me today because I knew I was going to be talking about this topic here at Coffee, Tea, You and Me. What he said was, you need to, if you're a first stage, you're a startup organization, or you're a start in capital building organization, you're just getting ready to go to that point where you need to leverage and create more opportunities for your business, and you're going to need capital. He said, build the relationships that you're going to need before you need them. Don't wait to deliver your pitch to a group of investors who you could have talked to, who you could have built relationships with way before you even had the opportunity to deliver your pitch. And that goes with something that I've always told my friends, my colleagues, my family members, everybody who would listen. It's key. Relationships are key to success. It's how you know you feel it. You are successful. You know you're successful through relationships. You become successful through relationships. You maintain your success through relationships. Everything hinges on relationship. And I know a lot of times when we, especially as entrepreneurs, we get caught in the products or services that we offer. And we think that that's what it is that we offer. But the relationships become the conduit by which we offer the products and services when you reach the highest level of service offering. And when I mean the highest level of service offering, I mean the kind of service offering where you don't have to spend a lot of time educating your client because your client trusts you. You don't have to spend a lot of time proving to your board of directors that the decisions that you're making are the right decisions, or the opportunities that you're bringing forward to the organization are the right opportunities, because they trust you. You don't have to, when you go to your advisory council meeting, spend a lot of time listening to them telling you what to do because they believe in you. You see, relationships are key to quickness, speed, It allowed things to happen fast. It allows things to happen with trust. I love this book. In case you ever get a chance to read it, go and read The Speed of Trust by Stephen M. R. Covey. Now, this is not Dr. Covey. This is not 7 Habits, Dr. Covey. This is his son, Stephen M. R. Covey. And Mr. Covey broke it down brilliantly in this book. I don't know that there could be any greater understanding of what it takes to build trust and why you should build trust and why you should not take your time to build trust. You should build trust fast. You should receive the benefits of trust built fast. All this happens through relationships. And that's what we're going to get into today's show. I love what I do. I love what I do because I get to do so many great things for so many entrepreneurs all over the world. And I get to do this now. And it's funny. My girl Nancy just logged in and said a few things that I'll read to you in just a second. But I think what's important is taking the message to entrepreneurs that they can't just rely on the same old paradigm that they've always relied on. And that paradigm has been one to suggest, and I love to say it, I love to talk about it, but it's just not true. It's no longer true that the work you do will speak for you. That's not true. It's no longer true that relationships take time to build. That's not true either. These two myths have kept us from envisioning, and that's what today's topic is about, have kept us from envisioning a new perspective, a new world in which we have high quality relationships with a diverse network or audience that are globally placed while at the same time committed to being a win-win partner for us. Today's new technology gives us that opportunity. It gives us the opportunity to reach outside of our backyard, reach outside of our neighborhood, and broadcast our message to the world and be a global provider of whatever product or services that we need to provide. It allows us to work together to accomplish solutions to problems that don't even affect us personally, but may affect us as a global society. It allows us to come together, allows us to be where we need to be, but we have to have a vision for how we want to do that. That's so good. I mean, this vision is so well articulated, so well developed that when other people hear the vision, and they can hear it through any means that we're able to transmit or communicate this vision, when other people hear that vision, then we now have the opportunity to capture and grow in a completely new, different way, and with a speed that we never had before, because we're able to take our integrity, this is key, and transmit it to the world, where people can then receive it and feed us back the trust that we deserve based on our integrity, not our experience, not our work history, not anything except our vision and our commitment to that vision. That's what drives success. That's what helps others feel comfortable and get on board with what we're doing. And I'm not saying that's the only driver of success. I'm not saying it's the only driver of trust. I am saying, though, without it, any success that you have is going to be short-lived. Because in order for you to maintain any level of success, you're going to have a strong team of people that are supporting you, that continue to invest in you. Time, talent, and treasure. I call these the T3 resources: time, talent, and treasure. When you have a vision and it hasn't been well articulated, it hasn't been well thought through, it hasn't been well documented, it hasn't been well presented to those who have the capacity to deliver back to you everything that you need in order to make that vision a reality, then your vision isn't strong enough. It isn't good enough. It's not going to work. It has to be so big that it requires others to get involved. So let's talk about it. I'm going to share a document with you, and hopefully I'll be able to get this done pretty well. And before I do that, I'm going to have to do our little branding commercial, right? This is Coffee Tea, you and me, guys. Hope you're logging on. Hope you're excited about what we're going to share today. If you're logging on for the first time, the rules are this. Rules are simple. Engage, engage, engage. Put your name in the chat. Share this information with as many people as you possibly can. Let's help other entrepreneurs by letting them know this exists so they can get a chance to share what they do and who they are with other people. I hope to put together a panel of 1,000 entrepreneurs together that chime into the show, that watch the show, that participate. So please invite as many people as you possibly can. If you're looking on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, it doesn't matter. I want everybody involved with this opportunity because I think that, the more of us who spend the time to support one another, the better all of our success is going to be. And that is my vision. My vision is to create a world of global entrepreneurs that are working collaboratively together to uplift one another. And I'm hoping to be a catalyst to make that happen, to create the systems and the strategies and the techniques. So anybody want to join on board with that vision? Anybody want to go with me into this new way of doing business? Because I know for a fact we're not going back to the same old ways we used to do things. We're going to bring some principles forward because principles are here to last. But our values are going to change, and the way we articulate and the way we do the things that we do have to change because it's no longer business as usual. Okay, let me hit a branding moment here and make sure I got this right. And then we will continue on with the party. Fantastic. This is Coach Powell from Coach Powell Training and Development. I hope you guys are having a good time. I know I am. We are in the midst of a series of talks where we're going to be exposing the whole world to the magic of true voice. Last week, we talked about the reason why your voice is important. We talked about the reasons why you need to have a well-articulated, well-thought-through, well-delivered statement of your reality, the future reality of your business that speaks to not just who you are today, but where you're going in the future. Your vision is a beautiful thing, and it does two things better than any other system that could ever be done. The first thing it does is it makes sure you stay on track to what you're trying to do. It keeps you purpose. It keeps you aligned with purpose. It keeps you aligned with the technology. It keeps you aligned with everything that you need to be in line with. And alignment is critically important. We'll talk about that a little bit later to any kind of vision. The second thing that vision does for you, it gives you a sense of place. It gives you a sense of destiny. So purpose and place, destiny and alignment. All these things work together. When you have a sense of where you're going, what's it going to look like when you're there? What things are going to be possible for you? What things you're going to have to do? What things are you going to be able to do or drive as a result of you getting to that end goal destination, whatever that is? Then your vision can be powerful enough to invite others into it. When you don't know where you're going, when you don't know what you're going to be able to do, when you don't know what you're going to be able to have, when you don't know what you really want, when you don't know anything in that nature, then it's going to be very difficult for you to pull it off. It's going to be difficult for you to put the strategy together that you need, the team together that you need, the resources together that you need, because where are you going? You're not going anywhere. You're going everywhere, and everywhere is nowhere. See, vision is that laser focus point that helps you really, really move in the right direction. There's a couple of myths about vision that I want to share with you. And I don't want you to get mad because I think a lot of times people get upset. The first myth that I want to explain to you is that your vision is not a goal. There are a whole bunch of things that vision does, but there are things that vision does not have to do. In fact, if you start to help, your vision starts to do this for you, then you might be getting off track. Let me explain to you. Goals, very specific in nature. They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be relevant. They need to be achievable, and they need to be time bound. Let me tell you again, goals need to be SMART. That acronym stands for specificity. They need to be specific. They need to be measurable. They need to be achievable. They need to be relevant, meaningful, and purposeful, right? And they need to be timely or time bound. If your goals are not, they don't frame up in the SMART world, they're not really goals. Not quite finished. They're not good goals, I should say. But now vision is totally different. Vision doesn't have to be specific. It can't be measured. It may not even be achievable. It doesn't have to be relevant to today or this moment that we're in right now. It has to be relevant to tomorrow, right? And it doesn't have to be time bound, which means vision can carry on well beyond our lives and our existence. Well, Marvin, if it's none of that, none of the above, then how can it be good? This brings you into the other myth about vision. Vision is not specific. It does not have to be such a focal focus point and so clear that you have these, oh, I know exactly how I'm going to do it. Goals might have to be that clear, but vision doesn't have to be that clear. Vision is cloudy. Vision is muddy. It's not necessarily so clear about, exactly what you're going to do. What vision is clear about is what direction you're going. It is clear about, what your purpose or reason is. And it is clear about that sense of destiny or calling that you may have in your life. Now I'm looking for some things I want to post for you guys. So give me some feedback from you guys' perspective. Have you ever heard somebody share with you a vision of what they want to do? Maybe it's a political person or a leader or whatever it is. Has anybody ever heard a vision that somebody has shared with you that made you go, I'm in, I'm all in, I want to do what that person does? And if you could, just put it in the chat for me. Just describe it for me in the chat while I look for our document for today, because I want to share this document. I spent a lot of time putting together, and I want to make sure I share it with you. Got this show started a little late. I apologize because I stopped to get myself a cup of coffee and I lost track of time. So let me just answer that question for me while I'm looking for the document for today's chat. And I want you to just tell me what you think about if anybody has ever laid a vision on you that was so strong and so powerful, and tell me about that moment. Don't necessarily tell me what the vision was, but just tell me about that moment. Just chat it up for me in a little bit. Chat it up with each other. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, you actually the chat will show up at all these different places. So you'll be able to see each other, talk to each other. So definitely, if somebody responds, that's okay. I'm not worried about that. In fact, if you haven't logged in before, definitely put your information in the chat. Definitely tell us where you're coming from, how we met, what you know about and what we're doing, and all that kind of good stuff, because I want to engage with you as much as possible. I want to share your business as much as possible. So if there's anything you want me to share about your vision, your website, your email address, your text messages, whatever it is you want me to share, I'll be more than happy to do so, because this is a business-friendly show. We want to make sure that entrepreneurs and business leaders have a shot at getting their message, their branding, anything they want to get out there to the people that watch the show. Either there's people who are watching the show live, or the people who are going back and dialing into the recording. And tons of people go back and dial into the recording. So don't feel like, I shouldn't put my information out here because, I'm not sure who's paying attention right now. That doesn't matter. What matters is who's going to watch this recording later on. And the recording is going to be around for a long time. Okay. I've been writing about vision for a long time, and I'm looking here on my Google Drive, and I'm seeing several articles and several things that I've written about vision that I think are relevant to our talk today. But I'm not going to share all of this with you. I'm just going to share with you my most recent stuff about vision and how vision can be used for a myriad of purposes. And I'm going to share with you specifically some ideas about vision in terms of how they come out of the TrueVOICE system that I created. Now, I told you about TrueVOICE last week, but I'm gonna give you another idea about what TrueVOICE is. TrueVOICE is a system that I created years ago, and one of the reasons I created the system was I needed to give people a way to get into a networking relationship or professional relationship with other people. And I needed them to go from zero to hero in a short period of time. I need to figure out, how do we get past all the general crap that slows down the relationship building process with people. And so I created this True Voice process, because True Voice literally is a way for you to get your voice for you to get your voice out there, and for you to receive the benefits that your voice can bring back to you. So your ideas, your thoughts, the branding, anything you want to get out there, there's a way for you to get it out there in a way that when it comes back to you, when the law of reciprocity kicks in, it's going to come back to you in a way that's meaningful, powerful, and useful for you. But then I realized that most people don't have a clue what they really want to say. And so we needed to create a system that broke down what they really wanted to say, what they really needed to say, in order to build trust with others. And then I created a process by which you could use the questions in the True Voice process to interview someone else. And so when you look at somebody else's world, when you look at their abilities, when you look at their talents, then you look at an opportunity to talk to them about what's meaningful, what's special. And here's something, man. I just know that it does happen. When you listen to someone else and they truly felt heard, they begin to trust you on a level that they would not traditionally trust another human being. It's so incredibly powerful. I know the internet went a little wonky there a couple seconds ago, and it might happen again. If I need to switch to another channel, I'll try to, but I really having a bad internet connection, unfortunately. But I want to remind you that True Voice is about listening. It is not as much about sharing your voice as it is to helping others share their voice and inquiring and asking them the right questions that will get them to share their voice with you. And then they can tell you their truth, and they can tell you what they believe, and they can tell you what's important to them. They can reveal to you their character, which is only one side of what you need to develop trust. But it's the side that's very difficult to see unless you ask these questions in the True Voice process. So definitely practice these questions, and I'll be going over with you for the next few weeks what they are. But the first set of questions is all around vision. The True Voice process has, and it's an acronym as well. It's five points in the acronym, right? It stands for vision, obstacles, intuition, commitments, and environment. That's what True Voice stands for. And if you look in the chat right now, I'm going to post for you today's document for today's lesson. Those of you who are following along on LinkedIn, you're not going to be able to see the document until I post it later on. But those of you who are on Facebook or on YouTube should be able to see the document pretty well. And you'll be able to see the document on my Google Drive, which means I'm opening up that access for anybody who has a computer. You can click on the link and go right to the Google Drive. You can't see everything in the Google Drive, but you can see that link and that document specifically. And if you look at the document today that I'm sharing with you guys, you're going to see some things that are critical to the success of first True Voice, and then to what this module of True Voice is all about. It's all about vision, right? And I told you earlier, I put together True Voice to allow people to say what they need to say to build trust with you, so that they're giving you all the information they need to give you right up front of a relationship. But you just can't drop into a True Voice interview with somebody, because they're not really ready to answer all these questions, right? But it's important that you set it up and you build it right. And you want to do this with people that you want to be, that you already know and identify that you want to be in a relationship with. Whether you want to invite them on your advisory council, or you want to invite them onto your board of directors, or you want to invite them to be investors or referral sources for you. These are the people that you definitely want to do the True Voice process with, because you want to start that relationship off on a high note. You don't want to start that relationship off on a transaction. You want to start that relationship off in a way where you can get the best out of each other. And TrueVOICE, I found, is one of the most magical ways to do it. So I'm going to go over TrueVOICE questions with you, the vision questions with you. I'm going to go over my answers with you. And then we're going to talk about why they relate to what we mean about vision. And so you can see the questions are right here in front of you. There are exactly 4 questions to the TrueVOICE process. The first question is a traditional vision-based question that will set up a reality that doesn't exist, right? So you get the chance to, when you talk to somebody about their vision, ask them this question: what if the sky were the limit? What if you were omnipotent? What if you could last forever and you would never die and you would never run out of money? You're the only one, though. What if you were the person that could do it all for everybody forever? What would you do? That's question number 1 in the TrueVOICE process, right? And then it allows you to open your mind and to think without the limits that we traditionally put on our thinking, the limits of time, the limits of money, the limits of, whatever it is that because we're unlimited, right? When you don't have the limits, what would you do differently right now? What would you begin the process of doing? What would you change? What would you create? What would you do? And I have mine listed right here in front of you. And it's funny, though, every time I've gone through an interview like this and somebody's asked me the same question, I change my answers. I'm a true Gemini in that way, right? I've changed my answers so many times. It's crazy. But it's important. If you think about it, if you could come up with a list of maybe 3 to 5 things that you would do if you were all powerful and all knowing, right? What would you do differently for the world? What would you do? How would you make an impact, right? Number 2, this question kind of grounds it a little bit more, but it's still the same kind of question. Okay, you're no longer omnipotent. You only got 5 to 10 years to live. 5 to 10 years, you're going to be healthy. You're going to be wonderful. You're not going to be sick. You're not going to be dragging along. You're going to be perfectly healthy for the next 5 to 10 years. What are you going to do differently? What are you going to do knowing that in 5 to 10 years, it's going to be over for you? What impact would you make right now? What things do you begin to work on and do right now? Because you know that your time is finite and you got it. You're not gonna live forever. You're not gonna make another 20 years. It's 5 to 10. Somewhere between 5 and 10, you're gonna drop dead. Great question. Opens up people to a new perspective, a new way of understanding, a new way of thinking and planning forward that they may not have thought about in the past. Number 3 is another question. Again, very similar, opens up the vision a little bit. What if you only had 24 hours to live? What do you regret that you haven't done already? Very few people have no regrets. And those who have said that they have no regrets probably haven't thought about the question long enough, because you haven't done everything you want to do. If you've done everything you want to do right now, I feel sorry for you. There's got to be something in life that you want to reach for, that you want to do, that you want to become, that you want to try to understand. And these things are critically important for yourself and for you to share with others who might be able to help facilitate the doing of the thing. I remember I asked this question once to a friend of mine, and they said, I am doing everything I want to do right now. And I looked at the questions that they answered before. I'm like, well, time out. This stuff that you've answered in question number 1 and 2, I don't think you're doing anything about. And if you are doing something about it, what are you doing? Because that's the thing that's probably you regret that you haven't done yet. And then they went, aha. So it's a great idea to ask people those questions, because it helps them begin to articulate who they really are, what they really care about, where they think their lives should be going. Back to direction, back to destiny. What's close to their heart, right? Vision provides direction and destiny. A sense of direction and destiny, purpose and place, right? Number 4, of all the ideas that we've shared before, what are the 3 most important? It's important because to ask this question, because vision can be vast, it can be all over the place, it can be so tremendously wonderful and impossible to even conceive. But what do you really, really, really want to work towards? What are the real things that you think that are something that you want to commit yourself to, even though you don't have the smarts right now, right? It's not specific enough. It's not measurable. It's not really a goal. It's just, you really want to commit to this direction. And my three were, I want to take Coach Powell national. I'm already in the process of doing that. I don't know what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. I got some ideas, but I don't have any definites about that, right? I want to completely fund my daughter's education. Now, she's almost through. She got a bachelor's degree a couple weeks ago, but she's going to have to go on to master's school. And she has indicated that she wants to get a PhD. So I got to make sure all that's taken care of. And I got to make sure she's got set up for, the first position, the first house, the first, wedding, the first business opening, whatever it is she needs to do, she's going to need some money for it. And then I want to endow an organization like the Centerville Community Foundation. I want to make sure that there's enough funds for that organization to run that they never have to do fundraising again. Of course, they'll continue to do fundraising, but they never have to do it again. I want to be able to be in that position to do that for a private organization, or an organization that I support, or a few organizations, really. I want to be in that position. So that's what vision is. Those are the true voice questions when it comes to vision. And I promise you, if you sit down and you ask these four questions to any person that you want to get closer to, I don't care if you already have an existing relationship with them, the chances are you've never had this discussion with them. What comes out of these kinds of discussions is so much power and so much vulnerability and so much information about how you can help someone else, about how someone else, what someone else is going for. You can then figure out what you might be able to do to help support their vision. And then when you're talking to them about stuff that's relevant to them, you know why it's relevant to them. You're not guessing. And this is what I know that a lot of entrepreneurs don't do. They're so busy trying to push and peddle their wares. They're not thinking about what the other person needs and how another person can use it. And so, especially when it comes to people that you want to convince to support whatever it is that you're doing, you're going to want to get to know them so well, and you don't want them to know that you know them. This is the power. When someone knows that you know them, then they're more apt to give you the benefit of the doubt. They're more apt to listen to you when they should listen to you. And they're more apt to share with you what's relevant to them. They won't do things like saying, well, then this is business and this is personal. I'll try to keep that separate from this, that, and the other. They won't be thinking like that, because they're the same person everywhere they go, and they want to be recognized and appreciated for who they are and what their contributions are everywhere they go. This is critically important. Oh my God, I love this. My girl Nancy said this to me. She said she used TrueVOICE a couple of days ago, and thanks to me with a new client, the client revealed herself in a short period of time. That is so true. This will happen. If you use TrueVOICE, people will open up to you in a way that they wouldn't traditionally open up to anyone. And I want you to think about how powerful that is. When people give you information that they haven't given anyone else in a single small period of time in their lifetime, and it takes about, I would say, 30 to 40 minutes to go through a true voice process, where, by the way, you shut up and you don't editorialize, you don't jump in, you don't cut off the conversation, you just ask the questions and you listen and you take note of the things that are interesting to you, or things that you might want to follow up later on in a conversation, in a separate conversation at a separate time. But you definitely want to do this process in a way that it brings you everything you need to bring, everything you need to have, everything you need to say, everything you need to do will be readily revealed if you just follow the steps, you follow the process, ask the questions. Thank you for that love, Nancy. I love you dearly. I'm so glad that we're able to do this and still stay connected. I can't wait to, by the way, I'm gonna make an announcement. I'm going back to Panera. I'm still gonna do the online thing. I don't know how I'm gonna get around the noise they do in the background noise they do in the Panera Bread, but I'm still gonna do the online thing. And I'm also going back to Panera real soon. I may wait till like midsummer to do that, because I'm gonna give people a chance to tune that up. But for those of you who are listening and following from online, I used to do Coffee to You and Me every Friday from the Panera Bread here in Clifton, Virginia. And I have people come. Sometimes I'd have 5 people sitting around the table, and then sometimes, it'd be 30 people there. So it really, really depends on, how well I was able to promote or market it, and what I did, earlier. If I gave a speech, by the way, I got a commencement speech coming up, which is really cool. If I gave a presentation at an organization or something, a local organization, the people tend to follow me, right? The next week, the Panera Bread is packed with people. But I love it. I love the opportunity to be live, to see people, to touch people. And I can't wait to get back to that. I know we're going to always do the hybrid, though. I know we're always going to be broadcasting the show, even if I do from Panera again. And I just may do 2 shows. I don't know. We'll work it out. But I missed the opportunity to share with my good friends like Nancy and Scott and all the other people that would come by and sort of be regulars at the Panera Bread process, and it was really, really cool. Okay. Oh my gosh, Nancy just told this to me, Scott. She they know much better Panera Bread that I might want to consider. I love it. Yes, let's do it. That might even be better because I can go global now. I don't have to do it in my backyard, right? Which is pretty cool. If we got a better spot, that's a better location, a little bit more quiet, that'd be great. That would be awesome. All right. Maybe a little more accessible to more people here in Northern Virginia. We do have to deal with that as a concern. So okay. Where was I? Oh, back to TrueVOICE. Sometimes I get ahead of myself. So I finished and I talked about the TrueVOICE questions, right? When it comes to vision. The next thing I want to share with you is a unique formula. And I know a lot of you are not economically and mathematically inclined. But those of you who are, I want you to understand that vision is not so woo-woo. It's not so out there within the realm of impossibility to understand, to conceive, to share, to articulate. A lot of people don't do vision because they think it's too far out there. There's no way to break it down to its smaller parts. There's no way to really figure it out, but it is. You see, your vision is basically a future vision of what the future value of whatever it is you have right now. So if you think about where you are right now, you think about if you could put that on a trajectory to its highest possible situation. So as a father, you are where you are right now. If you become the best father that ever existed, right, that's going to have a different look, a different feel, a different, you're going to have a different ability as a result of being able to do that. So think about be, do, have. What will you need to be, do, and have in any role in the future that you don't right now, right? So if you think about that, and then you think about the rate of or a rate of growth on that particular talent, skill, or reality, right? And you put that together, what you have is the future vision value. This is the future value of your vision, right? Your vision is in the role that you're in, right? If you look forward to that role and you go, okay, in the future, where am I going to be with this role? As an entrepreneur, as a business leader, as a community leader, as a family person, as a whatever it is, look at it in a future point, not even a clear future point. I'm not talking about 20 years or 30 years, whatever, at the best you possibly can be, whatever that point might be. It doesn't even, don't try to put a time limit on it. If it was the best it could be, what would you be able to be? What would you be able to do? What would you be able to have? And write that down, right? Because be, do, have, right? Those things, those 3 to 5 points of what you'll be able to be, 3 to 5 points of what you'll be able to have, 3 to 5 points of what you'll be able to do, represent collectively what I like to call arrival gates, right? This is how you know that you're moving along the path towards your vision as you get to these positions that you know where you're going to be, do, and have, whatever those things are. Because your vision, again, is going to be cloudy. But here's what you can do with be, do, have. You're going to start to assign goals to the areas in your life where you want to be this, where you want to do this, where you want to have this. And collectively, you'll be making that path, that walk towards your vision. Now, this is where you start to apply strategy. Because now you have something to hang a goal on. If I want to be, as I said, I want to take Coach Powell National. Well, that's my vision, to take Coach Powell National. But what does that mean? What does it look like? When I take Coach Powell National and I know I'm going to be successful at it, what's going to happen for me that's not happening for me right now? I'm going to be able to get on a plane, a private plane probably, and go wherever I want to go. I'm gonna have access to a private plane. I'm gonna be that guy, right? I'm gonna have access to a private plane, be ready to go whenever at a moment's notice, wherever I want to go in the world, right? I'm not gonna be worried about how much fuel costs are, and I'm gonna have access to a private plane. Either I'm gonna own this service, or I'm going to have just access to some service that somebody else will provide. No matter what it is, I'm gonna have access to a private plane. I'll be able to get on the plane and go wherever I want to go as long as the weather permits. I'm there. Right? So that means I have some place to I'm gonna have to have some place to park the plane. I'm gonna have to have a private access to a hangar. I'm gonna have to have certain things. Let me see what else might I have when I take Coach Powell National. I'm gonna have a board of directors to answer to. Right now, I'm a freewheeler, do whatever I want to do, whatever I want to do. But I'm gonna have to have a board of directors to answer to, because it's gonna be a public company at some point, and that means it's gonna be people who I have to make sure they're happy. They're happy with what they do, what they belong to, and all that kind of stuff. So that means I'm gonna have to have slamming board of directors meetings. I'm gonna have to have amazing access for the people that I invite in to invest in Coach Powell training and development, opportunities for them to share their wisdom and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna create that incubator kind of thing, going on. I'm gonna have to have it. I already know I'm gonna have to have it. Right? And I can go on and on and on about what I will have and what I will be and what I will do when I take Coach Powell National. These things become goals. And with goals, I can begin to strategize. I can begin to invite people into those things. I can be able to say, okay, here's my vision long term, but here's where I think you're going to fit in the short period of time. So you can bring your assets and your resources to this, and we're going to get there together. We're going to do this together. We're going to build this team. We're going to build this. We're going to build the structure that's going to create this reality so that we'll know we're that farther along. And as we get further along, all of a sudden the vision becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. I may make adjustments to the vision along the road because I bumped into obstacles. But you see how important it is. If you can share your vision with other people now know what they need to do, what they could possibly do. Maybe they can introduce you to somebody. Maybe they can develop some resources for you. Maybe they can produce for you. Maybe they can create for you. They can do something that it's in their talent pool that will help you get to where you're trying to go. This is why it's so important. And the math matters. The math of vision matters. So if you understand the formula that I'm sharing with you here, and I'm not going to go into any deeper than this, but if you understand the formula that I'm sharing here with you, then you'll be able to put together the future value of your own vision. Right, you're going to put the future value of your vision for every role that you play. By the way, you may have a single vision for one thing, but you're probably going to have a vision that's associated with everything you're already doing. So extend that role out. If you're somebody's grandmother, if you're somebody's father, if you're somebody's brother, if you're somebody's sister, if you are an employer or if you're an employee, whatever it is that you are today, extend it out to its future furthest possibility, and maybe that's a vision that you want to go for. You don't have to go for every vision, by the way. So let's talk about what vision does. The next few pieces of this, I want you to know that I've gone through every possible scenario that you can think of when it comes to visions. And if you come up with any more, definitely share with me in the chat. Share with me in the chat, and maybe I'll update this and add your 2 cents into it. I'll definitely give you credit for it. But as I began to study vision, I've been writing about it for years. And writing about it and thinking about it in terms of true voice, it takes on a different character, because what I'm trying to do with true voice is I'm trying to understand the vision of another person as well as the vision of my own. Right. And so I'm trying to use this tool as a tool that do assessments for myself, but I'm also trying to use this tool to open up other people and give them opportunities to share and to grow. And so when you think about it, vision gives you an opportunity to tap your inner strength. It gives you an opportunity to dig deep into where you are and where you're going and what you think you're all about, and to come up with the goods that make it stick, that make it really, really useful. And Bennett said here that in life you live the life of your dreams. Be brave enough to live the life of your dreams according to your vision and purpose, instead of the expectations and opinions of others. Now, it is true we live within a society, but who are you in that society? What do you bring to the table in that society? You have to be able to bring something to the table that's special. You have to bring to the table something that's unique. And if you're not in touch with your vision, This can be very difficult for you to do that. It's going to be very difficult for you to accomplish the things you have to accomplish. There's some brilliant exercises I have throughout this that I suggest that you do. You don't have to do them all, but just pick the thing that resonates with you and do the thing that works for you. Audre Lorde says, you need to actualize your special power. You need to figure out ways to help you understand what your special power is all about. And when she says, when I dare to be powerful, to use my strength in service of my vision, then it becomes less and less important whether I'm afraid. I love that, because one of my key values is being courageous. You know, if I'm going to do something out of fear, I'm going to make sure that fear is real. I'm going to make sure there's a real reason for me to be fearful, and I understand what that is. You know, what are the chances that, you know, I go up into the woods and a black bear is going to attack me? If the chances are very small, then I'm not going to use that fear to keep me from experiencing hanging out in the woods. You know, I'm not going to do that if the chances are infinitesimally small. If I can do something to make to reduce my risk even further, I might be willing to do that thing, because getting up there in the mountains and being a part of nature can be so much fun. It can be so interesting. It'd be so powerful. It'd be so moving to me. Why would I deny myself that if the chances of something happening are so minimal? And if I could do the right things to even reduce that minimum risk so much further, why would I then allow fear to stop me from moving forward? Now, I'm not saying I won't be afraid. I wouldn't be afraid. I am saying, though, I would conquer that fear with realistic information and realistic opportunity. And then I would do something that would bring me in more control than my fear, right? You got to believe in yourself. You got to believe in yourself. Vision helps you do it. When you have a vision and you know it's your vision and you know you created it and you know it came from you and you know it's aligned with who you want to be and who you need to be and who you're called to be, right? Then all of a sudden, amazing things can happen. You become your biggest cheerleader, your own biggest cheerleader. You know, nobody can come to you and go, well, you can't do it. It's not going to work, blah, 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 blah. They're not going to be able to cast doubt and fear and shame and blame on your vision, because you're going to be too strong for it. Your vision is going to be too powerful to let that happen. You know, another thing I want to mention before we move on to the next phase is you get to look inside yourself and find the goods, not on the outside. Your vision is yours. It is yours. Nobody else's. Nobody else owns it. Nobody else belongs to it. Nobody else can have it, or you can share it with other people. You can invite people into it, but you can't give it to them. It's still yours. And so you need to be able to be open enough to share it, and you need to be able to give it to the right people and invite them into it. I won't say anybody and everybody, because if you start to share your vision with anybody and everybody, you're going to find a lot of people want to jump on board, but they want to turn and twist your vision. They want to borrow it. They want to own it. They want to manipulate it and control it. And so you want to be very careful who you share your vision with. But when you have the opportunity to share your vision with the right people, then you have to share that vision. Because if you don't, you're going to miss the opportunity. And more importantly, somebody else is going to miss the opportunity to do something that could be valuable for you and for themselves. Because it's nothing more valuable to another person than the ability to serve in a way that they know for a fact is going to be meaningful, specific, and relevant. You guys have heard me talk about that over and over again. I never get enough of it. It's always going to come back to meaning, significance, and relevance, right? If you scroll down the page and you go down to, I would say, page, where is it? Yeah, I would go into about page 8. Here's where I start to break down some of the lessons I learned from the good book. And it's very, very important. And the first couple lessons, man, they came in order of the most popular passages that you'll find in the Bible. And I even have some links in here about how you can get access to some more information about that, or where you can take it to the next level. Bible says, and the Lord answered me, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. It's been clear to people for years, thousands of years. If you're able to write the vision down, if you're able to share it, things happen a lot faster than if you just keep it in your head. or even worse, you don't have one at all, right? If you can able to capture that vision, write it down, and then share it with other people, you can articulate it with other people, you can show it to other people, you can give it to other people, you can, now all of a sudden you have the tools you need to empower others to join your vision. But if you haven't had the chance to sit down, think about it, write it down, figure out a way that you're going to share it with the right people, then you're not only just missing an opportunity to be blessed by them, you're missing an opportunity for the universe to get involved and for you to build coalition and collaborative partnerships and growth on a massive scale. There is no reason why all of us don't have this power and this ability to collaborate, to coordinate, to bring people together in unity and in strength behind a powerful vision. And I'll say to you again, I said it before, if your vision can be done by just you, it's not strong enough. It needs to be an impossible dream. It needs to be something that can only be done when people come together with the right resources collectively to make it happen. If not, it's just not powerful enough. It's not juicy enough. It doesn't have enough meat on the bones. Bible also says, where there is no prophetic vision, the people cast off restraint. But blessed is he who keeps the law. Your vision become the rules for your behavior. Not just your behavior, but the behavior of everybody who wants to come along with you in that vision. It becomes the way. How you do the things you do, the way you the true people who are doing the right things all the time, thinking the right things, going in the right direction, doing the right things. These are right. This is what righteousness is. It's right. It's about being right. Right. It's about doing the things that is good, the thing that's right to do, the thing that works all the time. Right. So think about that. What are you doing to share your vision and inviting other people into it so they can follow the way? What are you doing to follow the way? Are you on target? Are you on track? Are you doing the things you're supposed to be doing all the time, righteously? Think about it. The last thing I want to mention, and then we're going to open this up for discussion. Vision provides a sense of urgency in this way, right? When it happens, and it requires patience, right? But when it happens, it's due time, right? You can't have a vision and then sit on it. You have a vision about something, or you create a vision about something, you need to do stuff about it. You need to create the goals. You need to create the habit trackers. You need to create a whole entire system around this vision, because it's going to plague you if you don't, right? It's going to be something that's always going to be in the back of your mind. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be going here. I'm supposed to be thinking about this. I'm supposed to be creating this. But for some reason, I'm not getting it done. And it's just excuse after excuse after excuse of why you can and why you shouldn't and why you didn't and why you don't. And who has time for that? Literally nobody has time to doubt themselves. And I would say to you, if that's the position that you find yourself in, you need to follow the Nike plan. Just do it. Now, you'll find that in the document that I share with you are several exercises that you can do. You can do them on yourself. You can do them with other people. I suggest you do them with other people, because none of us is in a vacuum. Pick a partner, find somebody who could go through this with you, and you will find that the visions that you create, the visions that are created collaboratively, are going to be so strong and so powerful that you're going to wonder, why didn't I do this earlier? And what was I thinking that kept me from doing this earlier? Critically important stuff. It's about 3:58, and it's time for me to close the show out. If anybody out there has anything to say, anything they want to share, any questions you have, here's the time to ask it. And when I go to Panera Bread, I always tell people, like, if you don't have a question, then you got to leave my table. I can't make you leave the video. I can't make you leave the table. So if you're out there and you got a question, do me a favor, or even a comment, whatever. Engage with me. Show up. Let me know you're out there. Let us know you're out there, so that we can give you the proper attribution and say whatever we need to say to help you and your business move forward. If not, oh wow, I messaged you your Panera Bread 2.0. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Nancy. I love it. We're definitely gonna do that. We're definitely gonna go back. Hopefully, somewhere in midsummer. Like I said, we're gonna. I gotta give it some time to incubate for a while before I go ahead and make the leap. But that's something that's in my heart, so I got to do it. Okay, guys, I love you all. Thank you so very much for coming to the show. Thank you for playing with me. I'm going to sign off now, and we're going to keep this party going for another couple weeks, and then we'll be back in Panera Bread and then we'll have a new scenery. So bye-bye.